to the Asian community, now you understand that racists don't pay your bills. A lot of you guys are coming out and saying, why hold us accountable for one person? No, it's not just that. We have been facing racism from the Asian community for quite some time. Even though everybody always forgive and go back to the nail salon or go back to ordering food or whatever, we have faced numerous counter with you guys. And suddenly we decided that we are going to treat you like the way you treat us. We are going to hold our money from you. I've always say racism does not pay your bills. So stop being racist. If you know that you have a couple people out here that have businesses and you are out here taking it lightly and not trying to support others and try to disrespect people and trying to do whatever you can, there's countless of time that I have been discriminated against within the Asian community. Even though we don't come out and say something, but there are people black people that actually go through it. It just shouldn't have to take a life for you guys to understand that we are serious. Do you understand me? It's been countless of time where we have been facing discrimination from the Asian community, and we still love you guys. We still support you guys. We still showed up. But this time, what we are saying, this young man lost his life behind something silly. A mother lose a son lost his life. He was only 14 years old. And yes, some of you guys may never understand, but this is bigger. This is way bigger than everything. What we're saying, racism is what we need to stop. We need y'all to stop it. We need to go to nail salon and not have you talking about how much people are doing certain things. We need to be able to sit in the nail salon, not have you talking about us in your language, not having you yelling at us or treating us like we're not going to pay, because some of us, we're very respectful to you guys. We're very respectful to when we come in your nail salon, we make prices and we tell you, you made the prices, we come up, we agree with you. But what we notice is like you guys are being so rude. Sometimes we go to the store, you guys follow us around thinking that we're going to take something from your store. And honestly, truth be told, there's countless of people of other race who actually come and take stuff from your store, but because you guys are so busy trying to think that black people is the only one who take things, black people is the only one who actually are, no, you guys are wrong. And this is how we are saying to you that we are not going to take it anymore. We are not going to take it anymore. We are going to take what hurt you and we're going to use it. And what hurt you is our money. We're not going to come in your store and spend it with you. We're not going to order Chinese food. We're not going to go to the nail salon. We're not going to do any of the things. We're not ordering from your products. We're not ordering. Honestly, I'm in Brooklyn and there's a place that I'm going right there is owned by a Mexican. And I used to go. I'm not going to any of these places anymore. I'm going to shop black-owned business. And this is what we are saying. We're saying that this community is doing us too wrong and we decided to stop. And I don't care. Enough is enough. It doesn't matter anymore. We don't want to be racist. We're not trying to be racist. It's not about racism. This is bigger than racism. It's bigger. It's about you guys keep being racist towards us, and we need it to stop. We are going to stick with black people, order from them, and go through it, because we cannot go through any more racism from you guys. It's a new year and we have to stand for something. If we don't stand for nothing, we have to stand for something. We can't have you guys always thinking that you can bully us and do all of these things and think that we're going to be okay with it, because you guys have done so much to black people and we took it. Now it's time for us to tell you that, hey, thanks for all the time that you were disrespecting us while we were paying for you to disrespect us. Now we're up on to the next level. We're going to go support each other. What's the problem with that? Why are you guys mad? Why are you guys mad? Because we're going to support each other now? No, get together and clean up this racism from your community. That's what you guys gonna need to. Because if you come to the state like everybody else, like my parents, and bring me here, what we need to do is not discriminate. We need to get together and we need to make things happen. Not trying to discriminate against anybody, thinking that you're on the other side, thinking that you're Caucasian when you're definitely not. Have you looked in the mirror? You're not Caucasian. You are Asian, and you have to respect it and own that. And then guess what? Go with the people who support you the most. Black people support you guys the most. Not white, black.
It just dawned on me that Asians are having a FAFO moment. I've always fucking hated the 39 to 42% of Asians who voted for Donald Trump, because I was like, how could you be that fucking stupid to vote against your best interest? And they're all racist over here, thinking that they're better than everybody else, that they're not going to be detained and deported by ICE because it's all the Mexicans that are going to be detained. not really caring about anybody else but themselves. And now after the Rick Chow verdict, when Asians are coming out in groves talking about, well, don't freaking punish a whole community of Asians by boycotting all Asian businesses, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this whole time they just cared about themselves. That's why they voted the way they did. Black people boycotting Asian businesses was not on my bingo card, but this is fucking a great twist of 2026. Can you do me a solid favor though? While you're boycotting Asian businesses and talking amongst yourselves of which businesses to boycott, can you prioritize the store owners who are registered Republicans? Yeah, fuck MAGA and anybody who voted for him. Sapo.
If you're going to group all of the Asians together, we cannot have a productive conversation because you're just as racist as Rick Chow. If you can't even take the time to understand that there is a lot of racial tension between Southeast Asians and East Asians, then we can never have a productive conversation. If you're just going to try and cancel everyone out, boycott everybody, then
I don't understand how the most educated group of people, Asians, can't figure out why Black Americans are trying to boycott their businesses. It's so crazy to me that Asians think Black Americans are doing this to get back at us, or that this is a generalization of all Asians that we are all racist like Rick Chow. The boycott is pent-up frustration from years of Black Americans dealing with Asian-owned businesses and constantly getting racially profiled, followed, and the overall lack of respect that they have to deal with even though they are these businesses' said main customers. Mind you, Asians that own said businesses in predominantly Black neighborhoods extract that money and go take it back to their own communities. So Black Americans are collectively trying to say, if you're going to come in here and take our money and leave, the very least you can do is treat us like a normal human being and not assume that every Black person that walks in the door in a Black neighborhood is a criminal. Seems pretty reasonable to me.
If Black folks boycotting Asian businesses is what it takes to fast-track Asian folks into deconstructing their internalized white supremacy and anti-Blackness, so be it. Boycott. I didn't apologize to the Black community in my video yesterday so that y'all would magically trust me or forgive Asian people suddenly. I apologized to hold my people accountable, because the Asian community owes an apology, and the Black community deserves to receive an apology. Is it enough? No. But is it one grain of rice in the direction of repair? I believe so. Trust can only be rebuilt through action, so I will continue educating Asian folks in my life, both online and in real life, to deconstruct the internalized white supremacy and anti-Blackness, because Black folks are some of the most soulful, caring people I know, and y'all deserve better.
So I'm sure a lot of you have seen this case in South Carolina where Rick Chow, a convenience store owner, was acquitted of killing a 14-year-old Black boy named Cyrus Carmack Belton. It's resulted in a lot of community outrage, and as part of the outrage, a lot of people are suggesting that Black folks boycott all Asian businesses. Not specific, because, say Asian, it's a lot that falls in that. You got Chinese, you got Korean, you got Japanese, whole list of folk fall under that. So I just want to know what y'all think about that. About the idea that Black people should boycott nail shops, food places, anything Asian because of the outcome of this case. Now, we know there has, over time, been a lot of tension between these two communities, especially when you look at the downfall of affirmative action. They used Asian students who were, I can't even use the word used. They willingly allowed themselves to be used in terms of making sure they dismantle affirmative action and similar programs. You can look that up for yourselves, but generally speaking, I just wanted to know, what did you guys think of that suggestion? Should Black people boycott all Asian businesses in response to not just what happened in South Carolina, but also in response to what's been happening around the country as it relates to Asian folks being used as a tool of white supremacy to dismantle programs that were there to benefit all people of color? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below.
I have seen more Asian Americans being upset
Listen up.
that Black Americans are threatening to boycott Asian businesses than I have seen Asian Americans speaking out against the murder of Cyrus Carmick Belton, a child who was murdered at the hands of an Asian man. And this has everything to do with race, especially when anti-blackness is so deeply rooted in our community. I have said this a million times, and I'll say it as many times as I need to so you can get it through your thick skulls. The only reason why Asians exist in America in such a large population is because Black activists fought for our right to be here during the Civil Rights Movement. White people did not want us here. It's not enough for Asian people to just be not racist. You have to be anti-racist, and you have to be speaking out against these injustices, or else they'll continue to happen. We absolutely owe the Black community solidarity, and the sooner that we realize that we're not much different from each other is the sooner that real change starts to happen.
I would like to thank the Black people who have come forth and stated how useless it is to boycott all Asian businesses just because of one incident. We are not all the same. We are not all one culture. We are not our parents' generation. We are not going to call for a boycott of all Black-owned businesses after a Black on Asian crime. At least you're not going to see me doing that. And by the way, we don't claim this guy. No, we need to be focused on other things. We need to come together, because I promise you it's a bit sus that this case received all this attention and went viral seemingly overnight. Back in 2023, when the incident happened, this was not on our radars. Now in 2026, when racial tension in this country is at an all-time high, now we hear about this all of a sudden. It's being covered by every single major news outlets who are run by the ones at the very, very top. Don't get me wrong, we should talk about these things. They are important. But I think it's time to talk more about unity, because things seem like they're devolving into a race war. If you're curious about my thoughts on the case, because I've been away for about 2 weeks and I'm just coming back now, I don't know what to say. It is tragic a kid lost his life. It is tragic we do not have footage of the climax of the situation. Everybody has a counterpoint to every point from both sides. I will just say, there was no need to chase that kid out of the store. It doesn't matter where you stand. You can say it looked suspicious. Maybe they were fed up at that point, whatever. My bottom line is there was no need to chase that kid 100 yards, over 100 yards, in a situation where you brought a weapon with you just in case. And if you somehow were to know that Rick chased him out of racial prejudice, I promise you, not a single Asian on this planet would be surprised. Those are my thoughts. I'm happy to be back, guys. I do think these are important discussions to have, but I think also at this point, maybe we're kind of losing the plot a little bit. Let's push for more unity going forward. Thank you.
I want to be your enemy. I understand you guys are upset and you want to boycott Asian-run businesses. Totally fair. I do acknowledge that many Asian people could be racist, and I condemn all races, regardless their ethnicities. Racism should not be accepted or tolerated, but not all of us are racist. I don't think I'm racist. I mean, I try not to be. I don't think I'm racist. I'm just Asian. I don't think it's fair that we all are punished because of one guy. I mean, I don't know who the fuck is Rick Chow is. Why are we all punished because of this one guy? But don't call all Asian people our enemy. I'm not gonna pretend I fully understand what kind of pain Black people go through on a daily basis. That would be a complete lie. It's almost same as, I can understand childbirth. I don't understand women go through during the childbirth, because I'm a man and I will never get to experience that. Some Black people pointed out, I say all these things because Black people want to boycott Asian-owned businesses. Personally, it doesn't affect me. I don't have anything to sell you, or I don't own any business. I'm not scared of that. I just want peace with everybody. This isn't about money, at least for me.
Just a reminder to other Asians, when the Black community says that they're going to boycott Asian businesses, that's not them being racist. They're literally just asking us to give them the respect that they rightfully deserve. There's a lot of anti-blackness in the Asian community, and I'm sick of seeing it. We're all sick of seeing it. And the Black community knows that all Asians aren't racist. It's just that these Asian businesses need to be reminded that they literally profit off of the Black community.
I love when the Black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well.
And just like that,
He gave me the push I needed to leave Asian nail shop.
This is why when y'all say black people can't come together, I just shut my mouth because y'all are showing out on this Asian boycott. Saturday, June the 6th, empty. Nail salons, empty. Y'all are showing out. Now, if you recall, he's the one that told us that we couldn't survive without any Asian-owned, stores in our community, and told us if we did a boycott, he would take away the laundry mats, right? They would not have laundry mats for us, as if we don't own washers and dryers in 2026. Now, some of you actually seem to be surprised at the Asian community, some of them anyway, that are really thinking that we're ignorant and too ignorant to have our own. Guys, don't forget about 2023. Do y'all remember in 2023 when they ended affirmative action? And that was in part to the Asian community. They let themselves be pushed to end affirmative action against the blacks. And people always say against the blacks as if we're the only community and we're the number one community to benefit from affirmative action. We weren't, but that's a discussion for another day. So in case you didn't know, the Asian American Coalition for Education, along with 60 other Asian American groups, got together and filed several civil rights law complaints against Harvard, okay? And they supported students for fair admissions. Now, if students for fair admissions sound familiar, that's because they are the ones who filed these lawsuits that went to the Supreme Court. President and fellows of Harvard College and also against University of North Carolina. They combined the two. They said that they felt it was so unjust they were expected to perform higher to get into Ivy League colleges. And that's not the case for everyone, i.e. black people. They decided to do it in groups so that no one could pick out a specific Asian American to target. But the fact that there were 60 different groups along with the Asian American Coalition for Education speaks volumes. Now, once affirmative action ended, do you think there was a big surge of acceptance into Ivy League colleges for Asian Americans? No poochie pies. According to the Manhattan Institute, there was a 2% increase across the board of Asian Americans being accepted into Ivy League schools. However, there was a decline in blacks and Hispanic enrollment. Like other communities, Asian communities seem to forget that they benefit from all the hard work that the black community has done. And that's okay if you forget. We don't have to remind you because, baby, we just keep doing what we do, which is us. So I'm proud of all you guys standing in solidarity because they're basically calling us stupid as hell, and we're not. Leave me a comment. Bye, y'all. Bye.
I have seen more Asian Americans being upset at the fact that Black Americans are threatening to boycott Asian businesses than I have seen Asian Americans speaking out against the murder of Cyrus Carmick Belton, a child who was murdered at the hands of an Asian man. And this has everything to do with race, especially when anti-blackness is so deeply rooted in our community. I have said this a million times, and I'll say it as many times as I need to so you can get it through your thick skulls. The only reason why Asians exist in America in such a large population is because black activists fought for our right to be here during the civil rights movement. White people did not want us here. It's not enough for Asian people to just be not racist. You have to be anti-racist, and you have to be speaking out against these injustices, or else they'll continue to happen. We absolutely owe the black community solidarity, and the sooner that we realize that we're not much different from each other is the sooner that real change starts to happen.
Yo, this boycott might be the wake-up call that Asian people really needed. Hear me out. Everybody worried about how this boycott is going to hurt Asian businesses, but I'm more interested in what this boycott is going to make us become. Let's be real. Most of us are operating on formulas that were built 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago by our parents and grandparents. Shit not the same no more. The world changed since then. Technology changed. Communication changed. Man, everything changed. The only thing that ain't really changed is our systems. And here's another thing. Most other people look at Asians like we all the same, but that could be farthest from the truth. Because Asians as a whole is actually divided as fuck. Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Cambodian, Thai, Filipino. Those are all people from different countries. We completely different people. But in America, everybody looks at us like we're the same. So this boycott ain't just going to affect one group of Asians. It's going to affect Asians collectively in America. And history has shown when pressure is applied to different groups of people at the same time, it has a way of making us realize that we got more in common than we actually thought. So could this boycott hurt many Asian businesses? You damn right. But could it also wake the Asian people up in a way that we never saw before? Absolutely. It can make us rethink how we operate and come up with new formulas instead of relying on old ones. It can make younger Asians start stepping up in the way that Asians ain't never stepped up before. Because one thing we Asians have always been good at is adapting. When times get hard, we adjust. When old opportunities disappear, we make new ones. When doors close, we build our own. So the question shouldn't be, what if the boycott hurts Asians? The question should be, what if this boycott wakes us the fuck up?
And so what if Black people are boycotting Asian businesses? If that's what it takes to wake our community up, more power to them. And I really need Asians to wake the fuck up. Because I am tired of getting on this app every business week and having to talk about some fuck shit that some Asian person is doing to Black people. There's so many other things I want to talk about on this app. Domestic violence prevention, mosquito brains, because that's what I got my PhD in. My writing process and how I write sci-fi novels and how I write, yes, the small business that I run because I write those sci-fi novels. But instead, no, I always see some Asian doing some model minority stuff and then I feel a moral imperative to talk about it because it ends up in the death of innocent people like Cyrus Carmack Belton. I am sick of watching our country slide into fascism and watch the Asian vote be split because so many of us want to ally ourselves with our oppressors. And in my personal life, I'm tired of not being able to trust Asian people that I meet because so many of you would throw Asian people under the bus for white acceptance. And on top of that, a number of my friends are Black people, and I don't want to have anybody in my life who is unsafe for my friends. Model minority Asians are unsafe for Asians to be around as well, and they are potentially lethal for Black people. I don't want that in my community. Get that out. And if these Asian stores close, like the ones that opened up in Black neighborhoods, and then complain about Black people being there and do racist things to them and profile them, let the stores close. Y'all don't deserve to be there. Have some respect. I know Asian people love money, so Black people withholding their dollars might actually get through some of your...
The Asian community and the Latino community are in a race to see who is the biggest bootlickers to white supremacy. So back in 2025, Black Americans said, we're going to sit this one out. And Latino said, no, you have to come out with us. And the fact that nothing is changing is your fault, even though it was us that didn't vote for our own best interest. Then the Latino community, instead of going to other communities such as the Asian community or the Middle Eastern community, decided to get mad at Black Americans because they wanted to do whatever they wanted with their personal time. And now Black Americans are telling Asian people, look, there may be anti-Blackness in your culture. Can you please address it? And Asians literally were like, So Black Americans are like, okay, we're gonna boycott your businesses then. Which they very much can. It's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. I've been heading this way for a while, but Latinos and Asian people and other immigrant groups feel entitled to the resources of Black Americans, which is
comments like this with, Asians and Black people fighting in my comment section. And honestly, it shows how little we actually talk about the history behind all of this. The tension didn't just magically appear. It was shaped by decades of laws, segregation, stereotypes, and political narratives that pushed our communities apart. When Asian immigrants first came to the US, they weren't allowed to live just anywhere. Segregation forced them into Black and brown neighborhoods because those were the only areas open to anyone who wasn't white. So Asians and Black Americans were physically close, but not always connected. Different languages, different histories, limited communication, misunderstandings grew out of that. Then in the 1960s, during the Civil Rights Movement, the US created the model minority myth. The idea that Asian Americans were successful, quiet, and proof that racism doesn't exist. That stereotype was never meant to lift Asians up. It was meant to contrast Asians against Black Americans and basically say, see, they're doing fine, why can't you? It was a political tool that built resentment and pressure on both sides, even though neither community created that narrative. At the same time, anti-Blackness already existed in some Asian cultures because of colonialism, colorism, and Western media influence. And for some Black Americans, their only interactions with Asians were through local businesses, corner stores, nail salons, restaurants, situations that were transactional, not relational. That created frustration and stereotypes on both sides. But here's the thing. In both communities, it's only a small handful of people who are actually hateful or racist. A few loud, ignorant individuals do not represent millions of us. We can't let the worst examples define entire communities. Then COVID hit and all of this got amplified again. Anti-Asian hate skyrocketed. Elderly Asians were attacked, harassed, and blamed for the virus, all because of fear and political scapegoating. Some of the viral videos showed attackers who were Black, and suddenly that tiny number of incidents turned into a whole narrative online like Black people hate Asians, which was inaccurate and unfair. What people forget is that Black activists and Black organizations publicly stood with Asian communities during that time. People protested for us. They protected Asian elders. They spoke out against the hate. But the media rarely highlighted the solidarity, only the violence. And yes, some Asians responded by generalizing those incidents and blaming the entire Black community, which made things even worse, even though the majority of Black people had nothing to do with those attacks. COVID didn't create new racism. It exposed what was already unaddressed and made stereotypes louder because everyone was scared and hurting. But amid all of that, we forget that historically there has also been real solidarity. Asian American activists learned organizing strategies from Black civil rights leaders. Filipino and Black farm workers united under Larry Itliong and Cesar Chavez. Japanese American activists stood with the Black Panthers. Yuri Kochiyama worked alongside Malcolm X. In Oakland, Black and Asian communities built programs together to fight poverty and injustice. These are real alliances. They just don't get talked about as much as the conflicts. That's why we need to zoom out. Like, a handful of ignorant people shouldn't define entire communities. A bad experience shouldn't turn into a stereotype. We shouldn't let old narratives and old wounds be recycled and divide us again. Asians and Black people have both faced discrimination, exclusion, violence, and being treated like outsiders. We have more in common than we think, and when we work together, there's real power, real healing, and real progress. We just have to stop letting fear, stereotypes, and misinformation talk louder than the history and solidarity we actually come from.
It is not racist to boycott Asian businesses when so many Asians are more outraged and vocal about boycotts than an unjust verdict about Cyrus Carmack Belton due to racial profiling. And that says a lot about where people's priorities are at. When the verdict was announced, many people, including myself, were grieving and expressing how disappointed we were. Only a few Asians spoke up, 10 max. Instead of holding space for that grief, many Black people were met with anti-Black comments such as dehumanizing Cyrus by calling him a thug or a monkey, bringing up Stop Asian hate crimes to justify the verdict despite having no connection whatsoever, and perpetuating racist stereotypes of Black people. So if you combine the fact that many people feel justice was not served, Rick Chow is a free man, not enough Asians were speaking up about this verdict, and Black people were receiving an immense amount of anti-Black comments while simply grieving this tragedy, what did you expect the reaction to be? I am pissed off that so many of you lack empathy and humanity to the point your response is anti-Black rhetoric and ignorance instead of accountability. And our community doesn't consistently call out anti-Blackness. When we don't make our spaces safe for Black people, and when we continue to dogpile Black people while expecting their support whenever it's convenient for us, why are you shocked that Black people are frustrated with our community? A lot of you are more concerned about Black dollars than Black lives. More concerned about businesses than Black children who are harmed, lose their lives, and are failed by the very systems that are supposed to protect them. Boycotting Asian businesses is a consequence of anti-Blackness. It is up to us as a community to confront it instead of pretending it doesn't exist. This is exactly why the Asian community needs to have more conversations about unpacking anti-Blackness and understanding why racial profiling another person of color, especially from the Black community, is dangerous. Because when someone walks into your establishment, your first thought should not be racist stereotypes attached to the color of their skin. Your first thought should be that they are a customer and a human being. And if we can't even do that much, then we shouldn't be surprised when people keep calling out anti-Blackness within our community. So I don't give a rat's ass what any of you have called me these past few months. Self-hating, anti-Asian, pandering to the Black community. I really don't give a fuck. My priorities will always be with humanity, accountability, and justice. If you truly care about solidarity between our communities, you will spend less time complaining about boycott and more time confronting the anti-Blackness to help create this situation in the first place.
Now, we'll be talking about the 6 different reasons why Blacks are losing it and why they're actually boycotting Asian businesses. The obvious one is the Rick Chow case, where a 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton, his life was taken away. The teen was falsely suspected of stealing water. The owner was acquitted of taking away life, sparking massive outrage. Outrage mirrors the 1991 where they took away 15-year-old Latasha Harlins. Now, activists are protesting. Black youths' lives are taken away, so we don't have a future. And in fact, when I look at the Rick Chow case, for me, it was a case where Rick Chow was the guy was he profiled someone, right? So it doesn't actually make sense. The truth is that when you racially profile someone, the chances of you committing harm to that person is quite high. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. Now, the second reason why blacks are losing it is customer treatment and viral altercations. Store staff frequently follow black customers around the shops like they are about to steal something or they're about to take something or put in their pocket or something. Now, another point is the poor services because consumers report experiencing disrespectful or hostile treatment when a black person walks into an Asian man's store. They start talking in their foreign language and it makes it very rather uncomfortable for the black person. Not only do they talk in their foreign language, they talk and stare directly at the black person. It feels like they don't respect us enough, knowing fully well that we make their businesses boom. Now, they always want to fight over bad service, which, to be honest, this is one of the reasons why the boycott is now being sparked. I want to talk about the broomstick attack. A Brooklyn nail salon brawl became a major catalyst for this because that's something that's not really been spoken about enough. This is another grand thing that I would like black people to know. The beauty industry has been monopolized and the distribution as well has been monopolized. Blacks are not happy with this. Asian business owners dominate the multi-billion-dollar hair industry. Blacks are, I should even say, insignificant in it. But guess what? Blacks are the ones who spend on these products. Blacks are the one who purchase this product. So it doesn't make sense that it's completely dominated by Asian. And the truth is that it's not as if blacks have not tried to get into this market. No, it's completely been monopolized. Supply chains for hair extensions have been locked down. Distributors often refuse to sell to black-owned startups. Black retailers face higher wholesale prices from suppliers than their Asian brothers and sisters. So all these have been boiling up to this one move. Now, I cannot deny the fact that social media has also exploded the whole scene because that viral mockery video of that guy who surfaced by telling black consumers that they depend only on Asian products, they can't do anything for themselves. That was the breaking point of it. It was so stupid for him to come online and say something like that. The owner openly challenged black buyers to stop spending on Asian stuff, and to be honest, that's exactly what's happening. And what's happening is also this: blacks now are realizing this, and they are also advertising their businesses, direct competitions to Asian businesses. And guess what? Black businesses now are booming. Asian businesses are now empty. They're actually begging for forgiveness from blacks to come back to their stores. Now, understand that not every Asian person is like that. I understand not every the Rick Chow is a Chinese, but they are Vietnamese, they are Indians, a whole lot like that. But the truth is this: once you spot a black man, you don't really care if this man was from Senegal, you don't care if this man was from Mali, you don't care if he was from Brazil. All you just care is that he is a black man. I don't think you distinguish the two. So that's the problem. I also understand the fact that you cannot punish an entire group because of one person's crimes. I honestly understand that and acknowledge that. But the truth is that these things have been happening. It was not just a one-time thing. It's something that has been boiling up for the longest period. Now, let me talk about the other minus scenarios why blacks are actually boycotting. Money quickly leaves black neighborhoods instead of staying in black neighborhoods. Boycotts aim to redirect funds back into black-owned businesses. The movement pushes for long-term community financial independence. And that is the three main things blacks are looking for so far. If this video have given you detailed idea of what is happening in the boycott of Asian businesses, now I'm not advocating for this. I'm advocating for peace, and I'm advocating that the one person or the group of people who are actually promoting the idea of racial discrimination, especially the guy who came out to say that he dares black people to boycott these businesses. Now, guess what? That same guy, that same guy has deleted that video. He has deleted that video, but guess what? We already have it. And honestly, he's gonna pay the price for it because he's causing racial tension, and this is mass spreading. Thank you for watching this video. If you love content like this, please do to share this video, give this video a like, and I'll see you in another one.